This video will show you how to get set up with 12D Synergy's connector for Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We will show you how to connect 12D Synergy with Dynamics, how to set up your attribute mappings, and how to run a test of the connector to make sure that it works correctly. Connectors allow 12D Synergy to communicate with other software products. They run constantly in the background of Synergy to import data. This allows you to work in Synergy with the information that's been created in other software products, such as jobs, tasks, documents, suppliers, clients, notes, and others. It means that the data doesn't need to be imported twice. When information changes in the external system, it also automatically updates in Synergy. The attributes connected to those entities are pulled in. Because 12D Synergy's attribute system is so flexible, you can bring in any kind of data from an external software application. Each connector is downloaded as a separate plugin for Synergy. Once a connector pulls information into Synergy, you'll be able to use all of our standard features with the data, such as powerful search, change history, versioning, and rollback. Connectors are downloaded from the 12D Synergy website at www.12dsynergy.com/downloads/connectors. They get installed through the 12D Synergy Administrator program. Run Synergy Administrator. Click on Connectors and then Install or Upgrade Connectors. Upload the connector from your hard drive in the location you previously downloaded it. You'll require a new 12D Synergy license that covers the connector. Speak to your 12D Synergy representative about the license. At this point, you have the connector installed and you can begin using it. When you click on the connector, you get the configuration screen for it. There's a number of different options in here and we'll run through each of them quickly. Clicking Run Now or Run Test will run the connector. You should never do the Run Now until after you've successfully done a test run, and we'll explain more about how to do a test run. You can set the connector to run on a schedule. That's how you'd make it run in the background of Synergy on a regular basis. You can choose which user in Synergy the connector runs as. So any changes to jobs, folders, etc., or any files that are uploaded will appear as this user. Server. This is the server URL found under Apps for Dynamics CRM in the Settings page under your Dynamics account. Username and password are what you need to provide to sign into Dynamics. Job name. This is where any tasks that are imported from Dynamics are placed. All tasks will be placed into a single job used for Dynamics tasks. Next, I'll demonstrate how to map the data you wish to import field by field into Synergy attributes. Before you start, spend some time understanding which data you want to import into Synergy. The data will consist of entities and fields. Entities such as jobs and contacts, fields such as name, created date, phone number, etc. This is the Data Mapping tab. Here you can set up where in Synergy each of the external fields will get stored. You can see that it's broken down into job mappings, contact mappings, company mappings, task mappings. So for example, here we have a company field in Dynamics called company phone. We've chosen to map that across to an attribute in Synergy called phone, and that's going to be of type string. Now we can use this screen to change that to a different attribute. You can either create a new attribute of any name you like, or search and use any of your existing attributes. You can choose to leave attributes blank just by clicking on them and saying clear, in which case that single field will not get imported into Synergy, it just gets skipped. The other option is that you may not want every entity to get imported, in which case you can change this imported column to do not import. So what that means is we're not going to bring contacts across into Synergy at all. The other useful feature here is Synergy's automatic mappings. If you click yes for this, It's going to show you a list of all the fields which currently haven't been mapped into Synergy. You can just click Create and Bulk, and each of those attributes will get populated with their default name. It saves a lot of time.
A useful feature to know about is that connectors can easily be hooked up to job templates. You can use a field that comes in from the external system that, when mapped across to Synergy, triggers your job template's match attribute. This means that when a matching job is imported into Synergy, it's automatically populated with the folders, attributes, files, tasks, etc. from your template. Let's say, for example, in Synergy you created a job template called Design Job Template. It had a match attribute of an attribute called Job Type, and it would successfully match when job type was set to design. This would be an enum or list type attribute in Synergy.
Before testing your connector, always run a backup of the Synergy server database. This gives you a fallback in case you configure the connector incorrectly and need to restore to this point in time. If the connector isn't configured correctly, then it could import a large amount of data into your system that isn't formatted the way you wish. Next, use the Run Test button, which allows you to import a small, controlled amount of data from the other software product into Synergy. Go over this test data and check that the attributes are named the way you want them.
As you can see, there are 3 different ways that you can select which data is imported. The first is by choosing a company name, and then that individual company will only be imported.
The other option is to test by contact email address or task name.
The rest of the data will not be imported during the test run.
A very useful feature that you should use at this time is the Logs tab. Here you can view the list of successful and unsuccessful imports. It allows you to review any problems that have occurred, fix them in the configuration and data mapping tabs, and then rerun the test. When you click on an item in the logs, you get the full message displayed. Finally, when you're happy with the imported test data, it's now time to set up the connector to run regularly and import all the data. You can do this by setting it to run on a schedule, and you can set how often that schedule will run.